We're ready to go.
All right, so this is going to be submissions from side control, which is going to be first or second stripe on the blue. So these are all the sort of things for blue belt. It's going to be way more than you have to do, but we're going to be doing flowing from locks, arm locks to chokes, all from side. And who is that? I can't see them. Is that
Simone?
Simone. Hello, Simone. I didn't know if you were one of the kids there or not. I'm so far away, my eyes aren't very good. All right, and Luke's there. Great. So this is all for blue belt Luke, lock flow drills, but it's going to be in an advanced format. Nikki's going to be here. Hit that one. All attacks from the side. Oh, actually, the first one that I ever learned was for head and arm control. So when they've got the head and the arm, you're going to fish this arm out. You've got wrist locks, armbar. Then you come through with the leg. And when you do the straight arm, I'm pushing my hip. So if I've got the thumb pointing upwards, I'll lift up. If the thumb's pointing this way, too much pressure on the chest, I'll lift this way, push this way. If she twists the thumb this way, I'll hook it, and then actually I'll push it this way with my leg, and then bring this knee up, and that's on. So she's tapping each time. Bring your hand out so they can see the tap. Okay, good. So as it goes there, that's it. Again, got the wrist lock. So then I'm pushing here, this leg comes up, and you lock this in, crank the head a little bit, it's got that. So the figure 4 itself comes here, and you move the hip up and the hand down. Okay, and usually it's best to lock that in place. So as it's here. Like this. And then if I just lift the head, it's going to come on, which is a crank itself. Again, when the wrist goes down, if I can't get it there, I can wrist lock there, and I can arm bar straight here. Again, grip here. We've got what we call telephone. If it comes across, we turn them off to this side, and we've got the head arm choke. Then if it flows across, we've got all the attacks from here as well. Then we'll go to the side with the same thing. So if it's here, I'll grab the wrist and apply it here, under the arm, lock, or classic figure 4 where you switch. They straighten their arm, straight arm lock. They bend it. Coming through and lift it. If it's straight again, lock. Coming back to the chokes. Okay. So they were the first ones that I learned in Japan, which is called lock flow drills from head up. We had Zarina, who's fantastic at this, and anyone who's wrestled Zarina will know. Is that true, Simone?
It is very true.
Yeah. All right. And I'm going to show one drill that you can do with your dummy at home, and it works very well with a person as well. So we have Igor coming into play here. Okay, so from mount, you place one palm under the neck with the fingers facing this way, and the other one when the hand is like this here. So when you jump, you'll take the arm. So the first thing is, put the weight on the shoulder, jump the feet. Jump the feet, hit through to the body, and you'll have this arm ready to attack. Okay. So this is a great way of extracting the arm. So if you're fighting someone, so I often do it if I'm stronger than somebody else, because this is a little bit of catch wrestling. Can I have Nikki back, please? Get that way, facing that way, actually hit that way. All right. So, a lot of time their arms are like this, and it's hard for me to finish from mount position. And if they're just super tight, all I need is to place my hand under here. So I've got the elbow caught, control the head. I drop my head to the ground. Then as I do that, I jump and the arms out. Often people will grab their hands together to try and bridge and roll you. In this occasion, you place your wrist under their elbow, grip, and then I'm going to lay my head back towards her knee and kick my feet out in front. And I've just put a figure 4 on her. So if you're looking, it's like, bend the elbow, it's like a figure 4 position. So a lot of the time you can make them tap like that. But as I do that, they'll often straighten their arm, and then it goes back to the wrist lock, the armbar, the figure 4, and once we're here, we can come back to the other side, to the lock flow drill, straight arm, bent arm, straight arm, bent arm. Okay, so that's the first lock flow and combination locks. They were ages ago that I first learned them. In fact, I think I probably learned them from a guy named Larry Hartzell. So it was much more from the Japanese Shuto. I'll show some of my favorite jiu-jitsu attacks as well. Laying with the head there, feet there. Thank you. Okay. So, the basic attacks are going to be the baseball bat choke, where we spin and fly. I'll get Nikki to do the basic moves on me. So, we've got your first basic move is a spinning lapel choke. Basic spinning lapel baseball bat. Now, when she does it like that, if she doesn't rest her head very heavily on my stomach, go again. I could walk in a circle and it doesn't work. So it's important to place your head on the far hip. So as she does the spin now, the head goes to the ground. There is no spin. I can't run away. A forearm choke. She extracts this arm, the other arm, and comes across, often called paper choke. And this hand, it's better if it grabs this collar and pulls it in that direction. The other thing that is really good to use with this hand is it goes under this arm and grabs my collar at the back. And it makes it hard for me to turn away because all the weight is pushing on my shoulders, to push my shoulder down. So I'm square on the ground. Forearm choke. Also, it's a great one for going from north-south choke where you're here, like this, which is a very strong position to hold. If she puts her belly button to the floor, very hard for me to get out of this here. Then she just places her thumb in, drives her forearm down my neck, and very nicely done. So one of the ways that I will stop both of those chokes is she comes through with one of the chokes here, is I'll push this arm this way. If it was a spinning lapel choke, block and move. Okay? So the defense for both those chokes, whether I'm doing the cutting here, is this arm here. And you'll see as she pushes me away, it's a figure 4 position already there. So as she pushes, I'll come around and look for that figure 4 position. Or if I'm doing the spinning lapel choke, here, she'll grab my arm and pull it in. And again, you can see, anytime the arm's like this, in a way it's a figure 4 position. So as I'm going for the choke, this hand can come under and we've got up and figure 4. The other escape that is not quite as good, but still used a lot, is I'm here and she goes to do those chokes here and I'll push away, which if I was stronger it works, but generally it's not a fantastic position. Also if she does a forearm choke, actually I want to show it from this angle, the forearm choke, I'll push here. Okay. So, anytime they use this arm to defend a choke, we're here, you have the snap armbar. And if it was a forearm choke here, it's collected as well. Thank you. And at home, you can drill this a lot. It's also great for armbar recovery, this particular move. Where if I'm here, I just put my wrist like this, and it's mainly to do with the leg work. So the leg work is this. So I'm not going to come up and try and go like this where they escape their arm. This knee, this toe comes up to their ear. So it's here. And then this comes through and we're up in the armbar position. So focusing on this foot, 1, 2, that's it, 3, sit and here. Other thing to focus on is, if I'm doing an armbar like this, I can't have this knee here. So it's floating away. It's got to come to this position, pointing in this direction. And then we have a great armbar setup. The other thing too, if they suck their arm away, it's easy to go back to the side control, which I'll do in motion with Nikki now. We'll go with this angle, please. Thank you. So, as I go here, if I bring this knee up, I've got a good lock on this arm, my legs are squeezed, armbar, easy. I just match wrist on wrist and put weight on. So it's here. I've actually got her arm here. Sometimes I'll even grab my own collar and it's locked in. It's hard for her to get her wrist out. That's it. If the elbow manages to drop here, I'll come back and get side control again. So you have a great way of coming back to side and not laying on your back. So what I don't want to do with an armbar attack like this is lay back and they start out and I'm here. So when I go for the armbar, the elbow hits the ground, hand goes here, pick them back up, and I can have a new shot at that armbar. Is that the wrong side? Coming out here. All right. Again, so mainly this is working chokes and armbar locks. So I've always got this arm to attack. here. This always comes through to the collar here. And then it just joins here. Once I've got this, I've got the choke. If I need to, I can come around for the reverse figure 4, or I can switch to the forearm choke here. And again, I still have that arm to attack. So these are a very solid 3-way combination. 2 chokes, 2 arm bars, and of course the figure 4. And the figure 4 and the arm bar on this arm is nearly the same thing as well. Legs that way, hip that way. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the far arm bar. So once we're here, and I've gone for this figure 4 position here, 1, lock. I can come over, grip this arm, lock it under, up, place the hand behind the back. So again, I don't have it floating here. There's a lot of things they can do. Once I place it here, it's applied. Hello Andrew, going through the whole lock flow. Am I positioned okay? I hope so. It also works well to go for armbar from here too. So I'm going to actually hit the head hard with the back of my leg here. Not too hard at the moment. Bang, it hits and the arm drops up and we have the armbar. So, again, I know you've come in halfway through, but I'm just going to continue and you can catch up from the recording. That's it. So, as we're choking here, this comes through and I'm looking to get the far arm, come under, turn them on their side, hit this position, drop that hard on the head for the arm bar. Take it easy on my wife there. Okay, so let's have a look at another type of escape that can happen there. So, you're going through far arm bar or reverse figure 4. So if she's got side control, she's starting to go for a choke, and I pull the arm in like this. This elbow's lifted and you can see it's in a figure 4 position. She uses this arm to come around for the figure 4. There. Yep, and then comes around the other side, so the front, that's good. And I've locked in. Another thing she can do is put her pointy little elbow into a pressure point here, and that will apply the lock. Another one that can happen is she goes for the figure 4 and I pull back down. So this is a great escape for the figure 4. Okay, you're down. Running through the series again. We've always got forearm choke, spinning lapel, armbar. Then, as she turns to face me, as this choke happens, it sets up for a figure 4 this way. Otherwise, I'll go right around the back. But so we're here. One of the most common ones is I use this hand to pull this down, so I can't meet that elbow to this elbow for a spinning lapel choke. 1. Lift, figure 4. I can come up for the figure 4. I can come up and wrist lock. I can wrist lock this way as well, and sit back for the armbar. There's a good series of attacks there. The other thing too is once we're here, they grip that belt really tight. You can lock it through here and drop your elbow, and that's all. It's quite painful. Do you agree?
I would agree.
Okay, so we're here looking for that figure 4. I can't remove it from the belt. This goes, elbow drops in near the wrist, and that's starting to happen. But again, it's very easy for my elbow now to drive this hand off. It's already good. So we can do it from there, and the lock is on. Another thing that I'll often do is push the hand so I get a wrist lock. So she's already tapping there, just from the wrist lock there. I'll grip the hand near the little fingers and then apply. And of course you can see how to survive that, they're here. The other thing too is once I've got this grip, I'll turn the wrist this way. So now when she tried to straighten her arm, it's nearly impossible. And very easy for me, without even doing a big motion, to place this hand on the back of the neck. Okay, so I lift the elbow and place here. Have you ever done this? Probably not, but I do it a lot in no-gi because it's just a really good position. They're the main series that we go through. Just how much more time we've got, please. And in the meanwhile, Andrew, is anything else that you'd like to me to try and run through?
Can't hear you, Andrew.
Someone's muted. Have we muted him or have you muted?
No, he's. Hello.
The lips are moving, but no sound effects. We may have muted you.
That better?
That's better.
There we go.
We didn't mute.
Nothing comes to mind. I just finished a fair bit of work and then my computer decided to do a whole lot of updates, so my head's not really quite in the game yet.
I missed just about every bit of that.
Okay. I've just finished a whole lot of work and I haven't quite got my head in this game.
Oh yeah,
So
okay. Okay, well I covered what I do for my attacks and I have been through them in class, but this is as a resource for anybody going for their blue belt. So I can always just refer them to this YouTube thing, tutorial, and they can go and have a look at that for all your side control attacks. So basically I'm using the triangle from the neck to the two arms, and you can attack here straight. And
the blue belt DVD, I just, it looks like you went through a whole lot more stuff on top of that, which was pretty much what I was looking for, so I can go back and look at that.
Great, yeah, that is pretty much how I would normally attack everybody every single day that we could. I would do those attacks all the time. Luke, have you had any chance to do any of these type of moves?
I've done baseball on you each times, but yeah, I've done it on mum a few times. Baseball choke.
Good.
That's about it.
Yeah, baseball bat choke is such a good choke. It's so effective from so many different places. I'm going to show the same type of attacks from now. So, you're there. Keep facing me, thank you. Okay, so combination choke armbar attacks from mount. Firstly, I want to get, I often will do that as the first move. So, figure four. The next thing that happens, very commonly, and again, I'll push the elbow and the wrist at the same time. So as I do that, they keep their position and they turn to their side so they don't angle, and you're in a side mount position. Anytime the elbow goes across the body, I will immediately start to then look for the back attacks. So you're on top. So a white belt will do this. You push their arm and you can separate it from the body, you figure four. Oh yeah, but lift the elbow. Correct. Yeah, that's right. That's the correct way to do it.
I was doing the white belt move, sorry.
Okay. Then the next thing that happens is you push here and they turn completely, but this elbow's here. Now you can also just spin this, instead of getting my back, let's say you do the Pell Half Nelson, classic second stripe on white. And there's a whole variety of things there. If they don't get the arm, you do this, it will make them turn to their stomach in any case. So I'm feeling, and you've got attacks from there. But the best position for her, anytime my elbow goes in front, is to attack the back or the armbar. So again, the next thing that'll happen is they'll push here and they'll push it away in this position. So they'll be blocking this, and the elbow stays on this side, so there's no access to the back. Here, it's pushing it ideally just above my elbow, and if I can get the elbow in front, I've got it. Again, to the back. So this time when I do it, I push this, they push my elbow, but they keep their elbow on this side, so I can't actually access the back at the moment. As long as the elbow's poking on this side and down near my hip, it's very hard to get their back. So then we can come over and look to separate the arms. Anytime I can separate the arms, that's good. If I can't separate the arms, the hand goes into the back of the collar and I drop my elbow down. So when I drop my elbow down this side, you'll see it picks up this side of the body. So if the elbow drops here, the head lifts. If I drop it on this side, this shoulder lifts. So where this elbow drops gives this reaction or this reaction. So if I do it this way, it allows this choke, and I place my head here, but I think it's going to hurt it too much. I drop my head and the choke comes on. Okay. If I do this, you'll see I've sort of got the back. And if she does that and pushes her elbow on this side, here, yeah, it's easy to sneak around. Bang, and get this. So these are the two things that work really well. Anytime, another occasion, you might even slide up, so you've got the elbow lifted. This hand goes to here. So now I've got it interlooped under and here. Now, as I go to choke, you'll see I have a very good submission on the arm. So, and again, anytime they turn to this side, it's very easy for me to slide my hand in this collar. If they're dead flat, I'll angle and place my hand at the back, turn them. Because the hand's here, I can't do that move. So I have to slide it under, so I've already got my hand under here. One. My elbow will push, this gives me access to the back and the armbar. If it's here, the leg gives me access to the armbar here, plus I'm looking for a triangle. There's a choke here as well. And then the armbar. So really they're the two attacks. As far as combination attacks from the top. My combination attacks from knee right are very similar. Knee right, hand in the collar, lifting this up. As soon as they go to push, if they pull down like that, turn and choke. If I do this choke and they're doing stuff here, pull this arm across, drop, and that's a choke as well, and I might double it up. Okay. Here, I turn them this way, the shoulders lifted, and the arm bar's there. So I'm going to get you to do this. I think Nikki can only take so much. This particular head. So your knee right. if I'm dead flat like this, it's nearly pointless for her to do an armbar. Do an armbar. Like elbow hit the ground, no problem. If she's here and she tries to choke when I'm flat on both shoulders, it's a very difficult thing to do. So when this hand's in, this elbow drops on this side, here, and then you lift the elbow. Now if I try to push her away, the armbar's easy to take. If she does the same move, and I know, well, I'm not going to give her that armbar, she does exactly the same thing, tries to lift my elbow, here, and I turn, the choke happens. Yep. She does that choke again, here, and I start to block like this, because this will make it hard for her. She grips my arm here and pulls it across this way. And because this is in and should be slightly deeper, that's it. Then you just crush me down this way and put it hand there. Just grab the material. And I'm nearly choking myself like a triangle.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
But it's better to use your body. So you push here like that. That's great. So you can see, you never really attack anybody till you can, they give it to you. And how I would give it is she's here, I'm either going to try and escape this way or escape this way. They're the two ways that you're going to, that are useful to escape from side control. One, she can force this to happen, which I'll do. So she's just lifted my elbow enough to armbar me. That's a straight arm. Go. Exaggerated, I'll go like this, and then it's definitely a straight arm. So from knee right, as I'm here, I cannot armbar that arm now. But if I do this, it's definitely easy for me to armbar. To me, it may not look straight, but that is straight. Straight enough. She knows she doesn't want that to happen. She tries to put that elbow on the ground. This lifts, and the choke is on strong. So we've done mount, knee right, side control, and head arm control, which are all your top controls. We'll do one more from front. So now you're going to swing your legs to the camera. All the attacks from front, combined attacks from front, nearly all start from the figure four. There's a gap between the elbow and their body here, which my hand goes under. My fingertips go up towards their throat and touch under their throat. I'm at 45 degrees to them. Again, now I'm in that figure four position, which can set up for arm locks, wrist locks, and straight up. When we're here as well, I keep pushing it this way and setting up to here. So again, I'm in a good position to set up the figure four arm lock. Even if I don't get to here and they start pulling this elbow to the ground, if I land like this, it's still a long way for her to go. Very difficult for her to turn towards me without me taking the back. Take that way. Okay, so we're here. Once I collect this position, even if, and it doesn't really, I wouldn't probably choose to do this, but it does happen a lot when you're in the figure four position and you're here. You're still on your side, but I've got the figure four. To stop her turning towards me, I push the hand to the hip. So she turns towards me, keeps turning. You'll see the knee can come through this gap. We could go for the arm lock. Here, lifting the elbow and taking it back. And then straight in to a finish.
not sure yet. Not sure, it hasn't come up yet. There's
Okay.
2 bits.
So that's just about all the combinations that I use, which are all to do with choke, figure 4, wrist lock, armbar. And it happens from every single position on top. Okay. Now just for the kids, oh no, I won't do that. My dog's trying to walk in, but he's not allowed. Okay, so they're the main things that I do as a lock flow drills. And I'm just going to rerun through those again. Get that way, thank you. You hit the side control. Again, this is the preferred side control is here. Because I have this elbow, I have this arm. It's very easy for me to put my thumb in and lapel half Nelson, spinning lapel is not far off. So from this position, driving through, your hands are joined. As soon as this elbow meets this elbow and my head goes to the hip on this side, the choke is on. If she stops here, very easy to swing this around without getting her hair. So it gets to here, and then this grip here. I ask her to look at the camera, and the choke's on. And again, she looks at the camera, I'll have the armbar here. If I'm starting the spinning lapel choke, she grabs my forearm or my elbow, exactly like this, which is a good position because I can't get my elbow to this elbow. The figure 4 position sets up, and we're setting up for here. This is where wrist, and again, if they've got a grip, I can use a pressure point. Ouch. She gets a grip. I can pull it in that direction. So I get my finger under the wrist here, place it, and then attack. And again, from here, I have to hit her head fairly hard. That will come up, and drop the leg here, and the hand will come up, and you've got the armbar. So they're the series from there. And of course, I think we did this arm as well. So we're here, and you'll see this hand here, collect. She sucks her elbow in, lock here, and you have another shot at it if you need to. That's the whole series of all the blocks. So really that's all we need to do. So if there's any questions, as far as the tutorial goes, that's it. That covers most things. So if there's any questions, Simone or Luke?
No, that was good. It's good just seeing like the little things, like, you know, even just the little movements with the legs to block things as well.
Yes. Yeah, and the drill I did on the dummy is fantastic. So I recommend anyone to do that drill. I used to do at least 30 of those each side every day until I got that movement right. So you'll see I flow into that movement and I'm staying at the same level. A couple of things that, will I use the dummy or you?
Who's the dummy? That's the question. You can use me.
Okay, you're down, head that way, feet that way. Okay, I think we're too close to the camera. Okay, so the feet motion is this big toe coming to here. And there's no rise. It's important not to rise up when this happens because the elbow immediately goes to the floor. You're collecting the elbow with your hip. On this side, it's collected. And the fact that this knee comes up and points in that direction is when you've got the arm. I can't even have it here because it's a good idea for them to block that and then suck their elbow to the ground. Very good. Okay. So that drill, just moving on. So we're here, the drill is 1, 2, here, and that. So it works both sides. Here, boom, armbar, this arm, armbar, that arm. This leg now has to go this way. Can't be even pointing up, it's got to be pointing the way that you're towards their head. Okay, that's the main aspect of that. And Andrew, any other things that you'd like me to demonstrate that I might have missed out on?
I can't really think of anything. Another topic for another time might be those sort of chokes using the tail of the gi.
Yeah.
But obviously,
That's great. I'll let Nikki go through those because she's quite an expert on that. So I think we've got a few minutes, don't we?
Yeah.
Yep. So here, utilising lapel for the spinning, whatever one you like. Show them how to extract this arm. So if she's doing her forearm choke, one of the things she wants to extract this arm. So she'll bring a knee across and lock it in. So now it's very difficult for me to get this arm back. So I've only got this arm to defend the choke, the forearm choke. With this arm, she'll go under and then collect the back of the collar. So this arm's excluded from the fight. It's her weight here. So if I'm blocking here, she can use her head on my wrist, and then that's done. That's it. If I start to push her head, it doesn't help because it goes straight in. If I'm turning this way, which is really common, and this is why this grip's really good, because it helps lift my shoulder up. So she lifts my shoulder up, and it puts me flatter on the ground. This is a perfect position for the choke. So I'll be turning as much as I can like this. There's a couple of ways to turn. What way do you like best, Nikki?
That way.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
So she just used her forearm, like a forearm hit. That's it. So that matches my jawbone with her forearm. If I'm fighting this arm, she might be using her knee. Okay, all those work very, very strongly. So let's have a look at the, okay, I'm going to do them now. You're there?
I didn't like that pressure, eh?
Okay, so a couple of things about the gi. When you've got the gi, here, this is the invisible underhook. So instead of having this arm here the whole time, once I get this, I could take this arm away. And the fact is, she turns towards me, it's nearly impossible. This will allow me then to do the choke. I could grip this lapel. I could get two hands onto the gi itself and the choke's on. So both those work really well. It's easy to change to here as well and bring this hand back. This is the strongest. All the other things do work as well. It's also possible for me to take this out and slide and reach under, and we've got a choke happening. Here, I've isolated her arm as well, so I can come back to my choke here. So that was using that lapel, that was using that lapel. Here, I can take this side out and slide this across, and then this hand goes under here, and we've got like a lapel half Nelson. So it goes here, this goes under. Did I miss anything?
Yeah.
Ready on me.
This is my favourite. So coming up, isolating that arm, hiding yourself with a slight twist, getting the gi out, giving it a little bit of a rope turn, feeding it under, and then sliding with your hand at the side, so you can slide and you can get the choke there, or you can actually crank it a little bit, which is really nasty. That's using your own gi.
On that side?
On this side.
Okay. So you can see it's useful for everything. The gi is very useful. Lay it on the back again. Again, that's on your side. Yep.
Yeah.
So I could wrap her arm as well, this way. So one of the ways to get rid of something is wrapping this arm and then taking it here. So now I've also got rid of this arm, which allows for the chokes to happen again and the armbar to come back. So the gi is really useful for all of those techniques. So you'll see I utilise this, Nikki utilised this side. It's possible to utilise this side over the wrist, re-loop it, and we've got the arm here. Again, it takes away the ability to protect the neck. Here, it can come around and be used. And it can come around. My own gi can come under there as well, this way, and it can come over this way as well. All of which are super strong. I think that's it.
Only got a few more minutes. Got some questions.
That is a stack of stuff, actually.
Any questions?
No. No.
No. It's hard to have questions until you start doing them. And then if there's a slight problem, that's where the questions arise. So you pick one of those moves, you try to do it, and they do a counter. And one of the, actually, if you look at the whole thing, it also answers all the questions that will actually come up. Because they can only use this hand or this hand, duck their chin, turn this side or that side, and all those things are covered. Okay. The other things they can use is their legs to come up underneath. So you just have to keep the legs out of the thing. So Nikki, you just come in here. As far as the legs are concerned, if you have a good side control, you got side control. She has to make sure that my legs can't come into play. So as soon as my legs come into play, or even here, there's problems. So how to stop that is she just sits down hard on this side. My legs now are very difficult to come into play. I bring it forward now, driving here, that's it. And my legs are having trouble. I should never be able to hip escape this side. You don't want my arm to come through this side, because I can start to escape. We did all those earlier, Serena's favourites. Okay. Well, we're going to end You're going to end that tutorial here. Thanks for having a look at that. And for anybody watching, this is your attacks from side control, submissions from side control, all here for first or second stripe on your blue. Okay.
So do you want to all come into view of your thing so I can get a screenshot of your beautiful faces? You're right there, Andrew.
I want to see your face.
Hang on a second, let me just get it all
I'm
happening.
going to move up too.
Hang on. You ready? Let me just get this screenshot happening.
Ooh,
Ready and go. Yes.
No, your hands came up.
No, I got the screenshot before.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.